I'm Cath and this is made by Cath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me for this video, which is a bit of a New Year crafty catch-up type video. So yes, it's really nice to be back on my channel because I had a little bit of a break over Christmas and New Year, as you may well know. Before Christmas, I joined in with Vlogmas, which was a lot of fun, and thank you very much if you watched my Vlogmas. And then after Vlogmas finished on Christmas Eve, I took a little break across Christmas and New Year for one reason or another. So it's really nice to be back on now. Can't believe it's 2024 already. My children are now back at school and I've been hatching some new sewing plans, which is quite exciting. But I thought the first video I'd like to film is a bit of a catch up to bring you up to speed on just a few different things I've got to share. I've got a couple of not Christmassy, crafty items I got for Christmas to share. I've also got some fabric that I bought in the Boxing Day sales. What else have I got? Oh, I've got one make to share. I managed to get a little bit of sewing in over Christmas, so I thought I'd share that. And I also wanted to share some festive Christmas presents that I made for my family that I didn't want to share before Christmas because I know particularly my sister does sometimes watch my channel. So I thought I'd share them now instead. So yes, quite a few things to catch up on. But first of all, I wanted to wish you a very happy new year, and I hope you had a lovely festive period, whatever you were up to. And thank you very much for joining me again in the new year on my channel. So yes, I'll kick off this video as usual with what I'm wearing today. And yes, you may well recognise this top if you watch my Vlogmas. You actually might recognise this top even if you didn't watch my Vlogmas because I made it earlier in 2023, I think. But I altered it over Vlogmas. And this is the Fibre Mood Tanita top, which is a really nice, quite a simple woven top pattern. You basically cut out one front piece, one back piece, and some bias binding for the neckline. And the sleeves are grown on, as you can see. And they're finished with an elastic cuff, and also the top is designed to be made with elastic and the bottom of the hem too. But yeah, it's got a nice sort of shape to it. And I think it works so well for showing off this lovely print. This print is one of the Fabric Godmother prints from their sort of vintage pattern archives. Is their Joni stripe. And you can get it, I think, in at least 4 colours. There's a navy, a pink, an emerald, and then this kind of ivory, sort of creamy colour. And I've loved this print for so long. And then I saw Lauren make a Tanita top, Lauren from Guthrie Ghani that is, make a Tanita top in the viscose cloth base of this fabric. And I thought it was such a great top to show off this lovely print. So I made my version in the cotton lawn fabric base. So yes, I made it earlier this year and I just wasn't reaching for it, even though I loved the print, because I found, particularly with the grown on sleeve, and it's kind of like a cropped sort of finish, that whenever I was lifting my arm up, it felt like it was kind of being dragged up and just didn't feel that comfy, feeling very clingy with the elastic and being pulled up like that. And I felt like I was sort of tugging it down quite a lot. So over Vlogmas, I actually decided to alter it. I was toying with the idea of handing it on, but I really didn't want to because I loved the print. I think it's such a pretty one. So I thought I'd alter it to make it work better for me. And it was quite a simple fix, really. I basically just took the elastic out of the channel at the bottom. And that gave me a little bit more fabric to play with once I sort of unfolded the channel without the elastic there. So I lengthened it very slightly because I was thinking maybe I'd made it a bit too cropped. And to eke out the length as much as possible, I finished the bottom or hemmed the bottom with bias binding on the inside, which was a great suggestion that people made during Vlogmas. So thank you to those people during Vlogmas. And then I just hemmed it like that with the bias binding. And now I just like it a lot better. I'll stand up it so you can see what it looks like now. So it's still quite cropped, but it's much looser and it's not feeling like it's clinging and rising up. Now it's kind of open at the bottom. And yeah, I really love how it's turned out. And so yeah, I'm enjoying wearing it today. And I thought I'd sort of make it work for winter by layering it up over one of my many Freya tops by Tilling the Buttons. This is one I made in this lovely tencel rib knit jersey by Meat Milk, which I've made a few different items in. I've mentioned it before. But yeah, I'll link both these fabrics down below. I thought actually the colours went quite well together, really. So I was quite pleased with that combination. It's quite cosy with this sort of nice kind of cosy Freya higher neckline. And I've just got them on with a pair of ready-to-wear jeans. So I'll put a picture up so you can see it's on. And it's really nice to have made this top work better for me. I've got a couple of other items actually I've been thinking about over Christmas that I had in my pile of things that I was thinking of handing on, and I think I might actually get a couple of those items out, and I've had a couple of ideas how I can make them work better, so I'll be sharing those over the course of the next few weeks or whenever too, because yeah, I think whenever I do a little refashion, it does inspire me to try and do a few more. So anyway, that is what I'm wearing today. But I'll move on now and I'll share with you first of all a couple of crafty Christmas presents I got. And the first one, just 2 things I've got to share. I didn't get too many crafty Christmassy things this year. I think I've maybe reached the point where I have so many different sewing tools now, there aren't a huge lot on my list. But this item was on my list and I love them, they're so cute. And it's this little pair of travel scissors, which I really love. I'd sort of put on my Christmas list. I said to my husband, I'd love a pair of travel scissors. And I'd seen those kind of fold up pairs that you kind of get in like a stainless steel, I guess. But I said, if he could find something cuter than those kind of basic pairs, I would love that. And he found these and I really love them. So they're sort of in this pale pink colour, and you basically push this little piece up here and they sort of come apart, and they're little scissors. So I thought they'd be perfect for if we're going on a plane. I mean, I know you can take a small pair of scissors anyway, but I thought sometimes I worry if I'm taking like a crochet or knitting project and I've got the scissors in the bag, they might come open and somehow cause some damage to either the yarn, or if I put them in the bag, they might kind of snip the bag or something. I'm sure it probably wouldn't happen, but I decided I feel much more comfortable with this little tiny pair here. So yeah, I really love them. I'm really pleased my husband managed to find them, because when I was looking online, I couldn't find anything quite like this. So yeah, they're really easy to use and they're quite sharp. Actually, I've tried them out and they work really well, and you can even put them on your key ring. So yeah, I was really pleased with that little tiny present. I have to just make sure I don't actually lose them now before we next go away, and I want to take them with me, but they're going to be a perfect pair of travel scissors. So that was my first Christmas present I got, and I was really excited by that. And then the second thing I got was a new knitting kit. And I often do ask for a knitting kit for Christmas or for my birthday, just because I guess they are a little bit pricey. They feel like a bit of a treat. See, I don't often buy them myself unless there's a really good sale on. So yeah, this is a knitting kit that my mum got me that I asked for, and it's a Wool and the Gang kit. So I've got it all in this nice paper bag. I'm always very excited when I get one of these big paper bags. And the pattern and kit I went for is this one here. Where is it? Actually, I'm not sure you can see much detail of the pattern. It is the, I don't know whether you say it's a Cirrus sweater or the Cyrus sweater. But yeah, it's one I'd had my eye on for a while, and I thought it'd be a fun one to knit. So you knit it in Wool and the Gang's Shiny Happy cotton yarn, which is some of the yarn I've knitted with before, and I really like it. You knit it on 5mm needles, I think, and maybe 3.5mm maybe for the ribbing. But it's hard to see on here. It's got this really lovely stitch to it. I'll put a picture up so you can see it better. I think it's designed to be a little bit oversized with a dropped shoulder. So it's kind of like my style, I think. And I'm just really looking forward to giving it a go. And the colour yarn I asked for this kit is quite a nice bright one, because I am trying to embrace a bit of colour this year. I do love a few neutrals, but I love a nice hot pop of bright colour too. So I went for this colour here, which is their hot pink Shiny Happy cotton yarn, which is a really lovely, pretty colour. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to knitting this one up. So I've got a current knitting project that I'm currently working on finishing, and I'm really looking forward to getting started on this one after. I haven't had a lot of a look at the instructions and figured out what size I'm going to go for or anything like that. But yeah, it'll be a fun project. I'm really looking forward to trying the stitch that creates that kind of diamond effect. I think hopefully it'll be a fun one. I think it's an intermediate sweatshirt, and I always find Wool and the Gang kits come together really nicely. I've never had any issues with them in terms of the instructions and the sizing. I really like how they turn out. So I'm hoping this one will be another fun one to knit up. But yeah, those are my 2 crafty Christmas presents. Let's pop those bits back. And I'm really looking forward to using those scissors. I'm very excited to start that kit. But the next thing I wanted to share, well, on the subject of Christmas actually, I wanted to share, like I mentioned before, a few gifts I made for my family before Christmas that I kind of held back because I didn't want to share them in case anyone saw before Christmas and it spoiled the surprise. So what I actually did was I filmed a little mini video before Christmas when I had those gifts to hand, talking all about those gifts, and I thought I'd include it in this video so you can see them all now. So what I'll do is pop that video in now, and then I'll be back on after to share a few more items. But yes, I'll put that video in now so I can share with you my pre-Christmas self, talking all about all those gifts before I wrap them up. So I'll put that video in now and see you back here in a moment. Hello, it is early December here right now. And before I get started on wrapping any Christmas presents and popping them under the tree, I wanted to share with you a few items that I've been making over the past few months and that I'm planning to gift to a few different members of my family. So I've got them all here ready to share before they get wrapped up, ready to hand on. And the first thing I wanted to share is something that I've made for both my mum and my sister, and it's a crocheted bag. And you might remember earlier in the year I made this crocheted bag for myself. It's a really pretty bag that's made up of these granny squares with this lovely flower design on them. It's quite a nice sized tote bag. You can just kind of hang on your shoulder, fits quite a few things inside it. So this is the one I made for me in this sort of creamy coloured yarn. And I made it using this pattern here. This is a pattern by All About Amy, which is a crochet and knitting pattern company that I really love. And this bag is called the Breezy Days Daisy Bag pattern. So you make it, I think you crochet 13 granny squares and then you crochet them together and add on a strap. And it was a really fun project. I really enjoyed making it and I've really enjoyed using my bag. So I thought I'd make one for both my mum and sister too. So I chose them each a different colour of yarn. My mum's favourite colour is purple, so I chose this lovely purple yarn for her one. So here is my mum's version. So it's pretty much the same as mine. The only adjustment I made for my mum's version is I made the strap a little bit longer because I find the strap on mine is just a little bit too short. It's not really short enough for me to unpick the strap and do it again. It is fine, but I thought the perfect strap length for me would be just that little bit longer. So I think the pattern says to make a chain of 85 to make the strap, but I actually made a chain of 100 for the straps on both my mum and sister's bags. So yeah. That is the one I made for my mum. Oh, and I should mention these bags are all made in the wool that All About Amy recommends, which is a Lion brand yarn called 24/7 cotton yarn. It's a mercerised cotton yarn, which makes it quite nice and durable. So hopefully it should stand up to being put in the washing machine and that sort of thing. So yeah, mine was in the colour, I think it might be Ecru. I'll pop definitely the colours in the link down below. I made my mum's in a purple, and then on my sister's favourite colour is maroon. And I couldn't find a maroon shade of the Lion brand yarn. So I went for what I thought was the next best thing and a colour that I hoped my sister would like. So fingers crossed. And it's this really pretty colour here, which I guess is a bit more pinky. It's a little bit more of a fuchsia, I'd say. So yeah, that is the version for my sister. It's pretty much identical to my mum's with the same slightly lengthened strap. I just think it's such a pretty bag. I really enjoyed making the pattern 3 times over and I hope they will like their version. So yeah, I'll link the pattern and the yarn down below. The yarn was really nice to work with. I'd really recommend it. And yeah, I really enjoyed making those. One thing I did spend the time on is blocking the bag at different stages. I blocked the granny squares after I'd made them all to get them into a nice square shape. And then I blocked the actual bag itself once I'd sewn it up. And I also blocked the straps, which helped them, I think, relax them a little bit because they were a little bit sort of wiggly once I'd finished crocheting them up. So yeah, I had fun with my blocking sets for these bags. It worked really well to give a really nice finish, I think. So that is the first thing I've made. And I will link the blocking set I have down below too. I think I got it last Christmas and I didn't use it straight away, but when I did start using it, I could really see the difference that it makes to really relax the wool and give it a really nice, even, uniform shape. So yeah, those are the first 2 items I made. And then I had a few scraps of yarn left over from those 2 bags and also from the bag I've made for myself. So what I decided to do was use all the leftover yarn to make a little bag for my niece. Her favourite colour is purple too, so it's quite handy I had some purple yarn left over. So I made a little bag for my niece and I'll show you now. This is the bag I made for my niece and I think it's really cute. I don't know about you. So this is another All About Amy pattern. You can probably recognise it's a very similar granny square. But this one is called, got it here, just check the name of it. It's called the Summer Days Daisy Bag. So it's a smaller bag pattern. I think this actually was the earlier pattern that All About Amy released and then they went on to release the Breezy Days pattern. So this is for a smaller bag. They're actually more granny squares. You make 15 granny squares, but they're smaller. And this one, instead of having the 2 straps, it has got 1 strap, which you can either make as a sort of shoulder strap on your arm, or you can make it longer to be more of a crossbody strap. So I thought it'd be a really cute one for my niece because it is a little bit of a smaller pattern and she's only little, she's only 4. So well, this is the version I made for her. And as you can see, I had fun putting the 3 different yarns together. So this is the yarn for my sister's bag and I used it for the strap too. And then I went for purple as the main colour and all the petals are in the creamy colour. And it was also a lot of fun to crochet up. And again, I blocked as I went along to give a nice finish, hopefully. And I went for a little short strap for my niece because she is quite small, just sort of hang on her shoulder. I thought she might like to match my sister, so they could have little matching bags on their shoulders. Hopefully she'll like it. So yeah, it should fit a few toys in there if she wanted to take it out and about. And this was another really nice pattern to work with, another really great All About Amy pattern. So I really enjoyed crocheting this little bag as well. And I'll link this pattern down below as well. So those are 3 bags that I crocheted for my mum and my sister and my niece. And then I also did a little bit more crocheting, and I made some items for my son, daughter and my niece too. So earlier this year, I was in my local knitting and haberdashery shop, and on their counter as I was paying, I spotted they had the cutest little crochet cats just sitting there. And I asked the lady in the shop what pattern it was, and she told me, and I went home and got the pattern and got crocheting, making these little kitties for my children and my niece for Christmas. So I've got a few of them here. I'll show the pattern first. This is a pattern here, which I bought from Etsy. I'll link it down below. It was fairly inexpensive. It is called the Itty Bitty Love Me Kitty pattern. So yeah, these are little kitties you can make. They're quite small. You can also make these really cute little crochet hearts, which you can add to the kitty. I think I'm using a cocktail stick, but I haven't made those. I've just gone for the simple little kitties. And I've made a few, so my son and daughter and niece all getting them. So I'll show you them here. So the pattern, I think, is designed to be made in double knit with 2.75mm crochet hook. But I actually used a range of different yarns that I had left over from other projects. So I've got a range of different kitty sizes. I knitted on different hooks. And I quite like how there's a bit of a range. There's like mummy and daddy and baby cats, I guess. So I'll show you the largest cat I crocheted up first. So here is the largest one, and I crocheted this little guy up in this Aran weight yarn that I think I had left over from a knitted kitty that I made for my daughter earlier this year. But he's quite cute. He's got these black beady eyes, and I got these eyes from Amazon. I will include them on my Amazon favourite list and link that down below. They're quite nice and easy to apply, and then added on a little bit of pink ears and a pink nose, and he's got this little tail curled around him. And when you crochet these up, you crochet them in the round. So when you finish the body, you just crochet the top together, and there isn't any sewing up to do with the body. You have to sew on the embellishments, and you have to sew on the tail once you've crocheted that. But on the whole, there isn't a great deal of sewing up to do for these kitties, which is quite nice. So that was their first little kitty. And then I also made a couple of other bigger ones in a light grey colour. So these are 2 more. Had a bit more of this yarn, so I used some of that up. Yeah, again, same little ears and nose and little cute little crocheted eyes and wraparound tails. And then I made some slightly smaller kitties. I think those Aran weight yarn ones I made on 5mm hooks, and then I made a few, I think, on 4mm hooks perhaps, using a double knit yarn. And the first 2 I made this pink yarn that I had left over from another project, a double knit yarn. I thought my daughter and my niece would quite appreciate a pink kitty, so here are the 2 little pink cuties with little wraparound tails. Now I didn't think my son would be so keen on a pink kitty, so what I did for him was I made these 2 guys here, again using double knit yarn, and they both have little stripy tails, which I thought were a little bit of fun. So yeah, they kind of have little matching colours to these 2, one in a sort of paler oatmeal colour and one in a darker brown colour. And those 2 I think are for my son. And then I made 2 little small ones, and for these ones I used double knit yarn again, but I sized down to a 3mm hook, which was quite fiddly actually. So these are 2 little sort of baby cats, as it were. I used the same yarn for these 2 as I did for my son's ones, but yeah, slightly smaller crochet hooks, so a bit more tightly, sort of densely crocheted, I guess. So yeah, these are the final 2 I knitted up. I think one will be for my daughter and one will be for my niece. I think they'll like having a little baby cat each. So those are all of my crocheted cats. I really enjoyed working on them in the evenings. They've been really fun projects. I love how their little personalities take shape once you start adding on the eyes and the little nose and the ears. And I do love the little curled around tails. So I'd recommend that pattern, and again, I'll link it down below. So those are all of the items I made for my family for this Christmas. So now I can get them all wrapped up, ready for them to open up on Christmas Day. I'm hoping they'll like them. I definitely enjoyed making them, so yeah, I'm glad to have done that. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing all about those crochet projects I've been making for my family for Christmas, and I will let you know after Christmas how they were received. So I hope you enjoyed that video of my pre-Christmas self talking about those presents that I made for my family for Christmas. All those presents have been gifted and opened now, and I think everyone was pleased with them. I hope they were, at least. And I really enjoyed working on them in the run up to Christmas. There were some really fun projects. And actually, since Christmas, there has been one further addition to my daughter's Crocheted Cats family. So I'd made her the 3 cats, and she decided they were a mummy and a big sister and a baby sister. And she asked me after Christmas if I could make her a daddy cat to join that family too. So in between Christmas and New Year, I sort of crocheted away and made a daddy cat, and he's all finished now, so I can share him here. And here he is. So he is a little bit bigger than the mummy cat, and I used the same Aran weight yarn as for the mummy cat, but to make him bigger, I didn't size up on the crochet hook. What I did was adjust the pattern slightly. I basically made him a little bit wider and a little bit taller, and I made his tail a little bit bigger too. And it took a little bit of sort of playing about to get him to be the right shape still with those kind of, with increase in size, but I'm really happy with how he turned out. And you'll spot he has a stripy tail. I think my daughter was a bit envious that my son had the 2 smaller cats with the stripy tails, so she asked if I could make the daddy cat with the stripy tail too. So I've used a sort of dark grey for his body, and then I've used the pale grey that the mother cat is made in to add the stripes onto his tail. So I think he's pretty cute, and I'll show you him next to the mummy cat so you can see the size difference. He is a bit bigger. And you might be able to spot the mummy cat has had a little extra embellishment over the festive period too. She had this little bow added to her head, and that bow's also been added to the 2 little children cats too. They've each got a bow as well. And these bows are little lingerie bows that I've used on my daughter's knickers, and I had a few spare, so we thought it'd be a really cute addition to the cats. So my daughter's really pleased with those. I think she thought this pink cat was already very girly, but I think she thought this one should be a little bit extra girly. So we had a little chat, and we thought the bow would make her extra girly. And I've actually ordered a few more lingerie bows. I needed to kind of add a few more to my stock for future knickers, but also I ordered a couple of sort of different colours, and we're thinking we're going to add one as a little bow tie for Daddy Cat. So hopefully they'll be arriving in the next couple of days, and I can give him a little bow tie, and I think that will look quite cute too. I can't remember what colours we ordered, but there's a couple of options, so my daughter can choose a nice bow tie. But yeah, I think the knitted cat family, or the crochet cat family, sorry, is now complete. So yeah, that is one little thing I worked on over Christmas. And I thought I'd also mention something that I shared in Vlogmas. If you didn't watch my Vlogmas, I thought you might like to see. I did also make a crochet bag for my daughter, so she wasn't left out of the crochet bag gifting. So this is the one I made for my daughter, and I used the same pattern as I used for my niece's bag. My daughter wanted it to be a crossbody bag, so I made a longer strap for her version. And I didn't actually give this to her for Christmas. She got it before Christmas. I've been working on it before, and she knew it was coming, so yeah, I just gave it to her before Christmas. But yeah, it's really cute. I think she chose the colours herself. She went with this pale pink, which is her favourite colour for the back, sort of main piece of the bag. And then the little flowers have yellow centres and darker pink outsides. And I think it's really pretty, actually. I would quite like to wear this bag myself. But it is definitely hers. It's full of her things. She's got it full of various bits and bobs in there. So it's nice to see her using it. So yeah, I really went wild on making quite a few of those crochet bags, but they were really fun patterns, both of them. So they were definitely very enjoyable to make. So I definitely recommend them if you like to crochet. But yeah, that is the one I made for my daughter too, so she wasn't left out of the crocheted bags. So yes, that is all of my Christmassy related items that I kind of received or made for other people. And then the next thing that I wanted to share was some fabric that I bought in, I think either the Christmas Day or Boxing Day sale. And it's a fabric from Guthrie Garney. It's one fabric, and it's one that I've been eyeing up in the run up to Christmas. And I sort of nearly bought it a few times, and then something held me back. And then it was on special over Christmas. I think Guthrie Garney had a 20% off sale, and I thought I'm just going to get some now because I could see it was rapidly going out of stock in quite a few colours. So I've got it now, and it's quite a Christmassy fabric actually. So I'm not sure I'm going to sew with it straight away. I'm going to mull over what to make, but this is the fabric here. And it's so lovely. I think you can see on the camera how beautiful and rich the colour is. This is one of the Guthrie Garney stretch velvet fabrics that they had in quite a few colours in the run up to Christmas. I know Lauren from Guthrie Garney made a really lovely Joni dress by Tin in the Buttons in a pale pink colourway. But I had my eye on this sort of emerald green colourway all the way up to Christmas. I just thought it was such a beautiful colour and so rich. But I wasn't sure what I would make with it. But I thought I'd buy enough to be able to have the option to make a dress. But when I got to the tills, or actually no, I ordered what I thought was going to be 2.3 metres of this fabric, which was how much it said was left on the website because it was really getting to the end of the stock in a lot of the colours. So I ordered the 2.3 metres, and then a couple of days later I had an email from Guthrie Garney saying when they'd taken the last bit off the bolt, it'd actually only been, I think, 1.7 metres, and did I still want it? So I said yes, I would still like it, and they obviously refunded me the difference. So So yeah, it does maybe restrict a little bit what I can make with it now. I've got a little bit less. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to make, but I thought I'll get it anyway, because having sort of, yeah, being sort of eyeing it up all through the festive period, I thought I'd regret it if I didn't get some. And maybe I'll make it into a top, or I'm sure there are some dress patterns I could use with 1.7 meters too. So and there's still a few options still, but it's so lovely, and it's so sort of has such a nice sort of luxe finish to it. It just feels really lovely, and I thought it's about as festive as you can get, really, isn't it? So I definitely like to make something that I can wear at least for next Christmas. But I think it would work well for any kind of sort of nice fancy outing, really, in this lovely green colour. So yeah, it was a bit of a shame I couldn't get the full 2.3 meters, but I think 1.7 meters will be enough to be able to do something, and it will really make me think about how I use this fabric really well. So yeah, that was my only sale purchase, but I'm really glad I did get hold of some of it. I think all of the colours are sold out now. They had some really lovely colours. I was tempted by quite a few of them, but I think they're all sold out now when I looked last. So yeah, I'm glad I did get that final little bit of this lovely green colour. So that was the one fabric I bought in the Christmas and Boxing Day sales. And actually I did buy a few other pieces of fabric just before Christmas, because Minerva had a sort of quite good pre-Christmas sale, and there are a few fabrics there that I had my eye on that I took advantage of that discount and bought them too. So what I think I'm going to do is, in the next week or so, I'm going to do a sort of New Year's sewing plans type video, and I'm going to talk about all of those lovely fabrics and my plans for them. And I've also got a couple of fabrics in my stash, and over Christmas I've been thinking about what I'd like to sew with those too, and sort of hatching some plans. So I'm going to include those in that video as well. But there is one other thing I wanted to share in this video, and it's one thing that I sewed over Christmas that I really enjoyed sewing. And it's inspired by something I made during Vlogmas, which is actually a non-dressmaking project. I made this really cute little boxy zipper pouch. And it's not something I'd ever tried sewing before, but I really enjoyed it actually. I did make it in some fabric I had left over from a dressmaking project. It's this gorgeous corduroy fabric in this lovely rust colour, which I use for the tabs and the main outside. And then inside I use a sort of cute lining fabric I'll show you. And it's quite a nice little pouch actually, because the zip kind of curves around the sides. It opens up really wide so you can really see everything really well inside. So you can see the lining, I use this kind of polka dot lining. At the moment, very excitingly, I've stored a load of cables in there. So yeah, I'm pleased to have found a use for this little pouch, because I just made it sort of for fun, because I didn't have enough of this corduroy left for another dressmaking project, I didn't think, but I really wanted to make good use of it. So yeah, that is the little boxy zipper pouch I made during Vlogmas, and I'll link the tutorial I used to make this. It is a YouTube tutorial, and I found it really nice to follow. And I am often a bit nervous about inserting zips, but actually the way this is sewn, the zip went in so nicely. So yeah, inspired by that, I thought I'd make another little boxy zipper pouch to store some of my daughter's toys. I think particularly this time of year when Christmas is coming and you know that children are going to be getting more presents, it's nice to think about how the toys can be stored effectively. And my daughter has this little set of Disney toys. They're quite small, and she often likes to take them out and about with her. But they were in this plastic pot, and they were getting a bit too many of them for the pot. It was getting a bit sort of cramped in there. So I thought it'd be much nicer to have a little boxy zipper pouch. You could pop them all in and they'll be easier to find. And I thought I could make it quite cute, look quite cute too, so it'd appeal to her. So this is the little pouch I made for my daughter over Christmas. For this one, I used sort of leftover scrap fabrics too. This pink fabric I had left over from making my daughter's quilt. It's like a quilting cotton. I used that for little tabs too. And I had the white zip left over. I don't know what from what. It was just a white zip I had hanging around with no use. So it was nice to be able to use that too. And I'll open it up so you can see inside. Yeah, all her toys are in there. And I use this cute another quilting cotton for the inside fabric. She kind of chose what she wanted. And that's another one left over from her quilt. So yeah, nice to be able to use them, and it matches with her quilt too, which is a bonus. But yeah, they fit really well in there, and there's still a bit of space, and you can kind of easily move them around to find the one she wants. So yeah, I was really pleased to have done that little project over Christmas. And I just think it's such a cute little pouch, and it'll be nice and easy to take out and about and pop in bags and bring with us when we're going places. So yeah, that is the little sewing project I worked on over Christmas. Yeah, I really enjoyed trying something that's non-dressmaking, but it was a lot of fun too. So yeah, I thought I'd share that as well. So I think that pretty much catches you up on everything from over Christmas and the New Year that I wanted to share. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing about all those different items. I'll try and link down below everything I've talked about wherever possible. But yes, thank you for joining me for my first video of the new year. It's really lovely to be at the beginning of a new year, and I've got lots of plans for future videos and for future sewing projects too, so I'm looking forward to sharing them all. So yes, do watch this space because I'll be back with another video soon. So yes, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've had a good start to the new year too. And I look forward to seeing you for another video soon. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day. And yes, thank you again for watching. Bye.